Hello, boys and girls. This is Miss Cullivan, and this is math lesson number 21. For today in math, we are going to practice telling time to the nearest 5 minutes. So we have learned how to tell time on the hour and time on the half hour, and now we're going to work on time to the 5 minutes. Let's get our math brains warmed up by playing a game I call One What. All of these things equal one something. So 60 minutes equals one blank. 24 hours equals one blank. 7 days equals one blank. And 60 seconds equals one blank. Take a minute to think about what these equal, and then I'll show you your answers. If you want to, you can pause the video and write your answers down, or you can just check what you think the answers are right now. 60 minutes, boys and girls, equals 1 hour. 24 hours equals 1 day. 7 days equals 1 week. And 60 seconds equals 1 minute. Good. Those are just some math facts that you should really have memorized, boys and girls. So if you didn't know them, come back and do this again and see if you remember them. All right? Let's play AM or PM. I'm going to put up 3 different activities, and you have to tell me if they are AM or PM. So the first one is in green, after school soccer practice. If you had to practice soccer after school, would that be in the AM or the PM? PM. Now think about the red words, eating lunch. When we eat lunch, boys and girls, it's 10:30, okay? It's before noontime. So would that be AM or PM? That's AM. And the last one, if you were having a bad dream, so that means you were sleeping, would that be in the AM or the PM? That's the PM. Okay, so here I have a clock for you, boys and girls. And we know that when the minute hand, that's the long one, is pointing to the 12, it's o'clock. And we learned that the minute hand is pointing to the 6. We say 30. And that's because each number on the clock represents 5 minutes. And if you look closely at the clock, you'll see there's little lines between the 12 and the 1. Each one of those lines is a minute. So when the big hand, the long hand, is pointing to the 12, it's o'clock. And then it moves 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes when it gets to the 1. And it's pointing right at the 1. When it gets to the 2, it's 10 minutes. To the 3, 15, 20, 25, 30. There's the 30 that we're used to reading when we look at the clock. Now if it moves to the 7, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, and when it gets up to the 12, it's 00 or o'clock. Now remember, boys and girls, Miss Cullivan's been telling you for a very long time to learn how to skip count by 5s. So if you can't do it yet, now is the time, or this is going to be really hard for you. So please practice skip counting by 5s if you don't know how to do it. So now, how do you tell the time? First, we're going to look at the hour hand. That's the short one. And you can see on this clock that it's past the 5, but it has not gotten to the 6. So the hour is still 5 o'clock, is still 5. But the minute hand is on the 8. And when it's on the 8, we say 40. So this time is 5:40. And what that means is it was 5 o'clock and 40 minutes has passed the 5 o'clock mark. It's not 6 o'clock yet, but it's getting close to that. Okay, let's try another one. So here we are, here's the clock, and let's just start by counting by fives around the clock to remember. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, o'clock. Now, let's start with the little hand like we always do, and that looks like it's pointing between the 12 and the 1. It means it's past the 12, but it has not gotten to the 1 yet. So our hour is 12. Now we need to know our minutes. The minute hand is pointing to the 5, so it's 25. So the hour is 12:25. That means 25 minutes has passed since it was 12 o'clock. All right, let's look at the next one. Let's practice counting by fives. Ready? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, o'clock. Let's look at the minute hand. Let's look at the hour hand. That's the little one, and it looks like it's pointing just a teeny bit past the 11. It's not at the 12 yet. It's 11. And the minute hand, the long one, is pointing to the 1. That means it's 5 minutes past. So the time is 11:05. Ready for the next one? Here we go. Okay, let's count by 5. Say them with me. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, o'clock. All right, so we're going to start with the short one. That's the hour hand. And oh, look, it's very, very close to the 8, but it is not on the 8 yet. So the hour is still 7. And the minute hand is pointing to the 10, which is how many minutes? 50. So the time is 7:50. See, it's so close to the 8, boys and girls, because when that long hand is at the 10, it just has to get to the 12, and then it's going to switch to 8 o'clock. But it's not 8 o'clock yet. It's 7:50. Here's the next one, boys and girls. Let's count by fives. Here we go. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, o'clock. All right, let's start with the hour hand. That's the red one. And it's a little bit past the 9, so the hour is still 9 o'clock. But how many minutes has passed since 9 o'clock? Look at that minute hand, the blue one. 15. What time is it, boys and girls? It is 9:15. Very good. Okay, take a look at that clock. We're not going to skip. Take a look at that clock, boys and girls. We are not going to skip count by fives. You're going to do this one all by yourself. The hour hand is the short one. It looks like it's almost on the 7, but it's not on the 7 yet. And the minute hand is pointing to the 9. Pause the video if you want to take a few minutes to think about it, or read the time. You can write it down, and I'll tell you in just a minute what your answer is. Okay, so the hour hand, the short one, is between the 6 and the 7. It is not touching the 7 yet, so the hour is still 6. And how many minutes has passed? 45. The time is 6:45. Good. Here's the next one, boys and girls. Look at the hour hand, look at the minute hand, and try to tell the time. Pause the video if you want some time to count by fives, and then come back and I'll give you the answer. Okay, so I'm going to start with the hour hand. That's the short one. And it's just a teeny bit past the 2. So the hour is still 2. And the minute hand is on the 4. So I'm going to count by fives. 5, 10, 15, 20. So it's 20 minutes past 2 o'clock. The time is 2:20. Did you get that one right? I hope you did. If not, let's try another one. Oh, I bet you can do that one. Lickety split. Okay, so the hour hand is pointing straight to the 10, and the minute hand is straight up to the 12. Oh, I know this one. It's 10 o'clock. Very good. One more, boys and girls. Go ahead and tell that one. Okay, the hour hand, that's the red one, is between the 4 and the 5. So it's not touching the 5 yet. So I know the hour is still 4. The minute hand is pointing straight down to the 6. That's the blue one. And I know that is 30. So what time is it? 4:30. Very good. Pause the video if you need to, boys and girls, and take a few minutes to think about what I just taught you and how do you tell time to the 5 minutes. If you had a little brother or sister you were going to teach them, or your mom and dad, what would you tell them that you learned in today's lesson? And your job for today is to draw a clock and make it say 2:50. That means 50 minutes past 2 o'clock. And I would like you to explain how you know where you put the hands. Where did you put the hour hand? And where did you put the minute hand? Thanks for listening, boys and girls. Bye.